Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chef Ralph's Realm. I'm Chef Ralph. As you can see, we're still in Montauk. Tonight we're going to be doing a main course that I like to do for some of my catering clients out here, a seasonal Long Island duck breast. We're going to be doing that with a black truffle polenta over with asparagus and a little bit of funky garnish, so stick around to see what we're doing. I've got some local duck breast. These are from Crescent Farm out east here. So real quick, if you don't know how to, we're going to score the duck breasts in a crisscross pattern. This is going to help release some of the fat, and it's going to help it cook more evenly. The duck fat is surprisingly insulating, and because of that, sometimes it doesn't penetrate well while cooking, or rather it takes long. To cook a proper duck breast, you want to do almost a 1/3, 2/3 cook, or a 1/4 2. So it's going to be, the majority of the cooking is going to be breast skin side down. What that's going to do is render the fat out of the duck breast, not really cooking the meat so much. You'll see as we go. I'm doing 2 breasts because I'm having a friend come and hang out with me. And I always feed my friends. So we're going to grab some salt. And so I've patted these dry. These have been in the open air in the refrigerator for, I don't know, probably at least 2 hours. Then I take it out of the refrigerator and it comes to somewhat room temperature. You want to treat it like a steak, like red meat. Duck can be served, should be served medium rare. Let's make sure we're turning on the right one. So we're going to go medium high heat on this. I've staged a lot of the ingredients already, so as not to bore you with them. The asparagus, I've already cut the bottoms off of. You don't need to watch me cut the bottoms off asparagus. So now the polenta is basically just like a fine cornmeal. I always make too much of it. It's cheap, so if you make too much, there's a lot of different leftovers you can do with it. I like to do like polenta cakes. So you can take whatever left over, put it in the bottom of like a baking sheet, spread it out, let it dry overnight in the refrigerator. Then you can cut it, and it'll be grillable, friable, all that good stuff. Tonight we're going to be doing more of a creamy polenta, and then that's going to have some truffle butter. It's going to have some duck stock. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're going to do chicken stock in here. The sauce for the duck, you can find this out east if you know where to look. Some of the farm sales will have it. This is called beach plum jam. So the things that you see growing on the, like in the dunes, in some like the back wooded areas, they're like probably about this big. We call them beach plums. This is actually a jam that a friend of mine makes. Super floral notes, sweet. So we're going to be doing this with a duck stock. Duck demi-glaze. This should make an absolutely phenomenal sauce for the duck. Let's see how we're doing with this pan. Still not there yet. I will never fully get used to electric stoves. All right, so we're waiting for this to come up. We have the duck stock staged. Oh, a really neat ingredient that I've been working with, and you're going to see it in another one of my episodes, is not a butternut squash. It is a honey nut squash. It's a small. Let me just grab one. I have one in the refrigerator. So this is a honey nut squash. It is like a butternut squash, smaller, winter squash, sweeter. So what I've done is I've taken the seeds out of one of them, toasted them with a little bit of lemon zest and salt, and we're gonna sprinkle that on top of this dish to add a little crunchy textural aspect to the dish while keeping it very, very seasonal. Pumpkin seeds, I think, are very underutilized. How are we doing here with this? All right, we got some motion there. All right, so we're gonna put these in skin side down, and as you can see, we've got a scoring pattern that's just we haven't really touched the meat. The scoring pattern is just through the skin. So we're gonna put these in skin side down. Now this is gonna take a little bit, and I don't want to scorch it because the duck fat that's coming out of there, we're gonna use that for a couple different things. We're gonna do some crispy shallots, and we're gonna do the asparagus in the duck fat because duck fat is beautiful. It's like liquid gold. We've already got some rendering out. You'll see me throughout this take the pan, tip it into the pan next to it to remove some of that fat. And obviously I'm gonna, as I tip it, you can see there's a lot coming out already. I will wipe it so we don't get grease fires. We're going to do this for a couple minutes. It's a pretty quick put together dish. I try to make it that way because a lot of times when I'm catering, I'm by myself or with very little help. And when you're doing multiple courses by yourself or even with minimal staff, it's absolutely crucial that you keep your eye on the time. We can start the demi glaze. It'll reduce over time. So we're gonna grab a small pot. We don't have any small pots here, unfortunately. So this is what we got. This is what we're gonna use. Back burner low. I have some duck stock here. This is about 8 ounces of duck stock. I'm going to water it down a little bit. I'm going to give a quick peek to the underside here. Yeah, that's looking beautiful. Just in case this camera that I have here isn't totally working, we're going to give that's kind of where we're at now. And right now we're just rendering the fat out of them, and it's like I said, it's looking absolutely stunning. This is where we want to be as far as the rendering goes. All right, this is all the duck fat that we're going to currently use, and actually I'm going to spoon out just a little bit more from this. All right, we're going to use this for the shallots. So let's turn this on. And that's going to get nice and hot. We're going to do the asparagus with just a little garlic, I got a bulb of garlic. I don't know why I always keep it on the windowsill. My grandmother used to do that. And we got 2 bulbs in there. That's fine. We're just going to take a piece of a bulb. Give it a little rough chop. I'm going to throw it in with the duck fat. And when that starts to come up and sizzle, we'll throw the asparagus in there relatively quick. This duck jus is coming up slowly, but it's coming up. All right, we're gonna let that do its thing. We'll be right back. All right, folks, our duck breast is pretty much ready to be flipped, so we're gonna flip it. I'll bring this over here for you again, just so you can see where we're at. It's starting to splatter a bit, so I'm just gonna cover it. Now, because I'm covering it, I'm gonna remove it from the heat. Actually, I'm gonna kill the heat. I'm gonna move it to a back burner. Because essentially what you do at that point is now you're putting it into an oven situation. So it's still cooking from all around. I'm not going to do that very long, just until you can hear it stop popping, because I don't want that moisture to stay in there, because that moisture is going to negate that nice crispy duck skin, which should be beautifully rendered. We're going to cook it on this side, then we'll flip it back over just for a little bit. This garlic is going. So we're going to take our perfect. Let's get this on here. Now we're going to take a nice heaping tablespoon of our beach plum jam. Beautiful stuff, absolutely. And we're going to go right in with that. Now let's get the asparagus moving around a little bit. I personally like my asparagus to be a bit toothsome. All right, so I'm sorry, a lot of things are happening. Keep up, pay attention. I'm uncovering the duck. I don't know why this duck breast is starting to cook like that. It's a little weird. So we're gonna just tilt him to the side a little bit. I'm gonna throw the asparagus around. I like as I was saying, I like a little bit of a toothsomeness to the asparagus. All right, the asparagus is just about done, so I'm gonna take that off the heat. I'm gonna move that to the back. Okay, we're gonna grab another pan. Actually, what are we gonna do? I'm running out of equipment here. That's what happens when we're in a kitchen that we're not familiar with and not ours. Okay. Good, very easy. Here, we're going to take the asparagus and put it in a bowl. Just like that. That is beautiful, perfectly cooked asparagus. It's okay to leave a little bit of this duck fat in here, because we're going to do the polenta now in here. That's going to go there. I need my... So we're going to toast the polenta just a tad in the duck fat. A little polenta goes a long way, folks. Keep that in mind. Don't forget that. Okay, I don't really have any stirring apparatuses in here. I got a big yellow spatula. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take some of this truffle butter and we're going to melt it into, we're going to swap these because hopefully this camera is working and you'll get a better view of this. Big old scoop of truffle butter. This is way too hot. This demi-glaze is not quite a demi-glaze yet. Alright, so now that the polenta is slightly toasted with that truffle butter, I'm going to add some chicken stock. And we're just going to combine it until it gets creamy, and we're going to kill the heat. And now we're going to slowly, as we're stirring, add heavy cream. So this is really kind of where we are now. It's kind of a porridgey, yeah, like a porridgey corn truffle deliciousness. Let's call it what it is. Let's see if it is deliciousness yet. It's almost there. Almost there. All right, so we're going to put that on the back. We are going to put the duck, now that it's rested, back over here, just to give it a little bit of a finished cook. And the demi-glaze is almost a demi-glaze. That's right there. The hell am I forgetting? Crispy shallots. I'm out of pans again. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. This polenta is just about done. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more chicken stock to it. It is a little bit more, whatchamacallit, it's a little thicker than I wanted it to be. It's okay. Now we're going to add that there. I'm going to throw the polenta into a bowl. Just like that. That can hang out over there. Okay, oh boy. All right, we're going to grab the remainder of our duck fat. I'm going to heat that up. All right, we're almost there, folks. Actually, we can start to plate. That's what we can do. Let's get rid of our cutting board. I'm not going to need that. We might need that. All right, we're just about done here, so let's start the plating. We're going to take our creamy polenta. We're going to write down on the plate with it. I like to do a little pile just in the center. Keep it on the neat side, folks. And then we're going to take some of our asparagus. Actually, that oil is done. Let's get our... So these shallots are just lightly dredged in flour. I'm going to throw them in the pan here. Get a little crisp on them. So we're going to take our asparagus and go right down in the center. A couple spears. Crispy shallots are almost done. I'm going to grab that to the side. Make sure our knives are nice and sharp for cutting this duck. Perfect. I'm going to let him sit right there just for a second. Now these crispy shallots are done. I'm going to grab a paper towel and a small plate. And I'm going to throw them over here. Beautiful crispy shallots. That's off, that's off. This is our demi-glaze, which is a very nice demi-glaze right now. So we're going to go just across like this. And our duck temperature should be perfect. Look at that. Juicy. 100% perfect. Beautiful. And we're going to go in with some demi-glaze. Not a lot. And I'm not going to go on the duck. I'm going to go around the duck. Like so. I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm going to go half plate. Like that. Spectacular. I'm just going to hit it with the wipe a little bit. Lovely. And now we're going to hit it with those crispy shallots. And let's not forget our little pumpkin seeds. Perfect. All right, folks, and then there you have it. That is an absolutely perfect fall duck dish. So just to give you a recap, this is a pan-seared duck breast over black truffle polenta with asparagus and a Montauk beach plum demi-glaze and honey nut squash seeds with crispy shallots. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to grab the side camera here and we're going to go around this dish. Oh, I'm off camera. We're going to go around this dish with this camera, and I'll flip the image around so you guys can see what we're dealing with here. All right, folks. That's about it. I got to clean up. I'm going to eat this for dinner. I'm going to prepare a second batch for my friends who are coming over. There you go. This is a perfect fall dish from Montauk using all local ingredients. I'm going to throw up a couple pictures that I'm going to take. As always, I'm Chef Ralph. This is Chef Ralph Realm. If you like my content, please give a like, subscribe, and follow. You know the drill. Please give me some comments below, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.